Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle and I'm Elvis here on YouTube. Today we have a CoStars day. So yeah, Sunday is my movie day. So if you're new to my channel, every Sunday is movie day. So if you like the Elvis movies, then you're gonna love it here. I think I'm gonna like it here. And I think you might. So today we're moving on swiftly to Viva Las Vegas. So therefore the CoStars and Margaret. And I've been excited to do Anne Margaret on my channel. So I can't wait. So let's get cracking into it. Laptop is perched sweetly on the hand, and let's get cracking. Now I do this because I'm blind as a bat, and if it's far away I cannot see it. So Anne Margaret was born in 41, and she was known as Anne Margaret. And she's an American singer and dancer, but her name is Anne Margaret Olsen, but she's known as Anne Margaret. As an actress, Anne Margaret is known for her roles in State Fair, Bye Bye Birdie, Viva Las Vegas, The Cincinnati Kid, Carnal Knowledge, The Train Robbers, Tommy, Magic, Grumpy Old Men, Grumpier Old Men. The list goes on and on for Anne Margaret because she is a star in her own right. Her singing and acting career spans 6 decades, starting in 61. Initially, she was billed as the female version of Elvis. She has a sultry, vibrant voice, and she had minor success in 61 and a charting album in 64, and she scored a disco hit in 79. She recorded a critically acclaimed gospel album in 2001 and an album of Christmas songs in 2004, which I did not know, so that is news to me already. Wow, she had an album, a Christmas album in 2004. I've never even heard that. I'm gonna have to look it up. We'll have to Google it after this. So, early life. Anne Margaret Olsen was born in Stockholm, Sweden, and she was the daughter of Anna Regina and Carl Gustaf Olsen, a native of where Anne Margaret is from. The family moved back to Jämtland, and she later described her small town of lumberjacks and farmers high up near the Arctic Circle. Anne Margaret and her mother joined her father in the United States in November 46, and her father took her to Radio City Music Hall on the day they arrived. They settled in Illinois, outside of Chicago, and she became a naturalised American citizen in 1949. So Anne Margaret took dance lessons at the Marjorie School of Dance, showing natural ability from the start. While a teenager, Anne Margaret appeared on Amateur Hour, Breakfast Club, and Ted Mack's Amateur Hour, and she attended New Trier High School in Illinois and continued to star in theatre. In 1959, she enrolled at Northwestern University, and she was a member of the sorority Kappa Alpha Theta. She did not graduate. As part of the group known as the Subtle Tones, she performed at the Miss nightclub in Chicago and went to Las Vegas for a promised club date, which fell through after the group arrived. They travelled to LA, and through an agent, they secured club dates in Newport, California and Reno, Nevada. The group went to the Dunes in Las Vegas, which also headlined Tony Bennett and Al Hint at the time. And George Burns heard of her appearance or her performance, and she auditioned for his annual holiday show in which she and Burns performed a soft shoe routine. Variety proclaimed that George Burns has a gold mine in Anne Margaret. She has a definite style of her own, which can easily guide her to star status. How excited must she have been? That is so exciting. What a great start. Never knew that. With music, she began recording for RCA in 61, and her first Victor recording was Lost Love. Her debut album, And Here She Is, Anne Margaret, was recorded in Hollywood, which I did not know either. She had a sexy, throaty singing voice, and RCA Victor attempted to capitalise on the female Elvis comparison by having her record a version of Heartbreak Hotel. What?
Lonely street at Heartbreak Hotel, and I'm so lonely. I'm so lonely. I'm so lonely. I could die.
I am learning so many things here. I'll put that on Tribute Saturday for sure. She scored the minor success I Just Don't Understand from her second LP. Her only charting album was Beauty and the Beard in 64, in which she was accompanied by trumpeter Al Hirt. Anne Margaret appeared on the Jack Benny programme in 61. She also sang at the Academy Awards in 62, singing the theme from Bachelor in Paradise. In 62, she was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best New Artist. Wow. And then obviously we've got the albums later on and stuff. So I didn't know a lot about her musical career, I have to admit. Acting. In the 60s. In 61, she filmed a screen test for 20th Century Fox and was signed to a 7-year contract. She made her film debut in A Loan Out to United Artists in Pocket Full of Miracles with Bette Davis. It was a remake of the 1933 movie Lady for a Day. Both versions were directed by Frank Capra. Then came a 1962 remake of Rodgers and Hammerstone's musical State Fair, in which she played the bad girl role of Emily, opposite Bobby Darin and Pat Boone. I love State Fair. I really love it. I think it's a brilliant movie. I used to love that when I was younger. I had a thing for Pat Boone for a while. Of course. She previously tested for the part of Margie, the good girl, but she seemed to be too seductive for that role. So they knew where they were taking her, didn't they? Wow. Her next starring role, the all-American teenager Kim from Sweet Apple, Ohio, in Bye Bye Birdie. Bye Bye Birdie. Can't say, I was so excited. Made her a major star. So the premiere at Radio City Music Hall, 16 years after her first visit to the famed theatre, was the highest first week grossing film to date at the Music Hall. Life put her on the cover for the second time and announced that the torrid dancing almost replaces the central heating in the theatre. She was then asked to sing Baby Won't You Please Come Home at President John F. Kennedy's private party 1 year after Marilyn Monroe's famous Happy Birthday. Wow. Anne Margaret met Elvis Presley at the MGM soundstage when the two filmed Viva Las Vegas. She recorded 3 duets with Presley for the film: The Lady Loves Me, You're the Boss, and Today, Tomorrow and Forever. Only The Lady Loves Me made it into the final film. None of them were commercially released until years later after Elvis's death, due to concerns by Colonel Parker that Anne Margaret's presence threatened to overshadow Elvis. He was crazy. He was absolutely crazy. To let others shine makes other people shine. Everybody shines. We all shine. In 1963, Anne Margaret guest starred in a popular episode of The Flintstones, voicing Anne Marg-Rock, an animated version of herself. And then, of course, decades later, she recorded the theme song, a modified version of Viva Las Vegas theme, to the live-action film The Flintstones of Viva Rock Vegas. And everyone knows that, of course. I love that part. When she was working on Once a Thief in 1965, she met her future husband, Roger Smith. And, yeah, they were together for years. Anne Margaret starred in The Cincinnati Kid in 1965, opposite Steve McQueen. And she also co-starred with her friend Dean Martin in the spy spoof Murderer's Row. And finally, she starred as the lead character in The Swinger in 1966 with Tony Francesco. She went alongside other entertainers such as Chuck Day and Mickey Jones and teamed up for a USO tour to entertain US servicemen in remote parts of Vietnam, which is amazing. During a lull in her film career in 1967, Anne Margaret gave her first live performance in Vegas, with her husband Roger Smith, who she'd married in 1967, taking over as her manager after that engagement. Elvis Presley and his entourage came to see her during the show's 5-week run and celebrate backstage. According to Anne Margaret's autobiography, Elvis sent a guitar-shaped floral arrangement for each of her Vegas openings. After the first Vegas run ended, she followed with a CBS special, The Anne Margaret Show, and then she returned to Saigon as part of Hope's Christmas show. A second CBS television show special followed, Anne Margaret from Hollywood with Love, and she had guest stars such as Dean Martin and Lucille Ball. That's so cool. In the 1970s, she returned to films with RPM, where she starred alongside Anthony Quinn. In 1971, she starred in Carnal Knowledge by director Mike Nichols, playing the girlfriend of a neglectful, arguably abusive character played by Jack Nicholson, and garnered a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, and she won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress. In 1972, while performing at Lake Tahoe, she fell 22 feet from an elevated platform to the stage and suffered injuries including a broken left arm, cheekbone and jawbone, and she required meticulous facial reconstructive surgery that required wiring her mouth shut and putting her on a liquid diet, unable to work for 10 weeks. She returned to the stage almost back to normal. Wow. What a woman. What a woman. So, Anne Margaret received a Motion Picture Star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1973. Her star is located at 6501 Hollywood Boulevard. Throughout the 1970s, Anne Margaret balanced her live musical performances with a string of dramatic roles. In 1973, She starred with John Wayne in The Train Robbers. Then came to the musical Tommy in 1975, for which she was again nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress. In addition, she'd been nominated for 10 Golden Globes, winning 5. Wow. On August 17th, 1977, Anne Margaret and Roger Smith travelled to Memphis to attend Elvis Presley's funeral. 3 months later, she hosted Memories of Elvis, featuring abridged versions of the Elvis 68 TV and Aloha from Hawaii specials.
It's a wonderful thing to be on a first-name basis with the world. Everyone knew him as Elvis. It's funny. In television, when a show is considered unusual, unique, one of a kind, they call it a special. And yet, the most special entertainer of our time, Elvis Presley, made only 3. 3 television specials. Perhaps that's why each of them is such a rare treat. I'm here tonight to bring you the first 2 of them. Elvis and I made a movie together called Viva Las Vegas. And we remained close friends after that, and I cherish the memory of that friendship. He was a good man. He was kind, very respectful, a gentleman. But I'm not just here tonight as someone who knew him or worked with him. I'm here as you are, a fan, an admirer, as someone who sits in an audience and loves to be entertained. And Elvis entertained with that special kind of excitement that only he had. And excitement is the word to describe the 2 shows you're about to see. You're going to see Elvis's sense of humor, the fun, the warmth, the kindness, and the strength. Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis. Title song of Elvis's first movie. The first of 32 pictures that were to bring the Elvis phenomenon to audiences in every corner of the world. You know, with all the fame, the publicity, the adulation, Elvis always remained a very private person. Well, in March of 1958, the U.S. Army made it official. He was a private. I guess no buck private ever received more worldwide attention than Private Presley. He spent 2 years in the Army, and it's certainly the measure of the man that for those 2 years, as on every movie set and in every recording studio, he was far and away the most popular guy in his outfit. Oh, and he was far and away all right. He was shipped to Germany. And you would think that accustomed to the privileges of fame and of wealth, he'd expect and receive very special treatment. No way. He was treated like everyone else, and he took it like everyone else. And the men in his outfit respected him for it, admired him for it, and came to be the biggest Elvis fans of all. In March of 1960, he walked off a gangplank into civilian life and right back to where he was most at home, at the top of the music charts, with one interesting change. During his time in the Army, he had been listening to different kinds of songs, not just rhythm and blues and country and rock. And when he started making new records, he began singing some of these different songs. The one you're about to hear was written in 1920, an old Tin Pan Alley standard. Elvis heard it one long winter night in Germany, and it said something to him. And when he zoomed it to the top, as he did all of his records, it said something to the audience, too. The song of that cold wintry eve to that faraway GI, Are You Lonesome Tonight? Typical of Elvis, don't you think? The one Christmas song that he's identified with, the one Christmas song that he wanted to record, Blue Christmas, a song that sings to those for whom Christmas is not always the merriest and most joyous time of the year. That was the thing about Elvis. He cared. Maybe because there were so many blue Christmases in his early beginnings. I know he thought about those beginnings. He never forgot his roots. As a matter of fact, this entire next sequence, the truly sensational climax of this first television special, tells us so much about those roots. Because the number really does parallel much of his own early career, before it was a career. And even though he was playing a part, I kind of think he was reliving a time when he was just another young man with a guitar and a dream much too big to come true. We see so much of the real Elvis in this number. He was quite an expert in karate, you know. And as you'll see, he uses karate to build a whole dance routine. So what began as an exciting musical sequence to end the show turned out to be even more. There were many sides to Elvis, and this segment allows us a deep look into the Elvis that first skyrocketed to fame. If I Can Dream, a song that was written overnight to close the first television special, one of the rare times that Elvis had performed a song that he hadn't first recorded or sung in a movie, or at least tried out in a performance somewhere. But it expressed so much of what Elvis truly believed. Brothers walking hand in hand, peace, understanding, that he insisted on breaking it in front of 60 million viewers. He really did care, you see. And in this one respect, at least, he was like so many great stars in our profession. He used his great fame and enormous popularity to benefit the worthiest of causes. His second television special, for example, was actually a performance to raise money for the fight against cancer. And midway through the show, you'll hear him proudly announce that the sale of tickets had raised some $75,000. And you know what? They found out later that he had bought the first ticket. That's right. He was the star of the show, and he paid his own way in. He flew all the way over to Hawaii to buy that ticket, because that's where the show was done. And you remember what I said at the beginning, what a wonderful thing it is to be on a first-name basis with the world? Well, this special from Hawaii certainly proves it. Hawaii, a land that sings with such a marvelous medley of colors and languages and religions and nationalities. And to pack that huge auditorium in Honolulu for a satellite telecast that would be seen live by 500 million people. All they had to announce was that one word, that first name. I've lived a life that's full. I did it my way. The perfect summing up of an extraordinary life and an extraordinary career. He did it his way. And in this next sequence of songs, you'll see again how truly versatile that way really was. How wide a range, how varied, how very much he had to offer. And there's something else. Perhaps because I was so conscious of it. The setting in the background shows a sky filled with stars. And all through the sequence, the image of Elvis lights up again and again, flashing on and off among the stars in the heavens. How prophetic.
Tree.
By to signing checks. He literally knocked himself out for many charitable causes. And that same spirit of generosity always extended to giving credit to those who worked with him. They weren't just musicians and backup groups. They were closely knit friends, all working together, as you'll see right here. Elvis was Southern born and Southern bred, and he sang it proudly to the world. And yet, when you hear this tender performance of Dixie, you're going to feel the way I did. That somehow it's not about just one part of our country, but something that belongs to all of us. Religious more than regional. As though he's singing of what we're all a part of. Listen.
Other notable films she co-starred in the 70s include Joseph Andrews, the last remake of Beau Guest, and a thriller, Magic, with Anthony Hopkins. She had a cameo role in The Cheap Detective. In the 80s, Margaret starred opposite Bruce Dern in Middle Age Crazy. To round out 82, she appeared alongside Alan Bates, Glenda Jackson and Julie Christie in the film adaptation of The Return of the Soldier. She also starred in TV movies Who Will Love My Children and A Streetcar Named Desire, winning Golden Globes for Best Performances. For both performances, sorry. There's lots of other things, so I might miss some, but in 87 she co-starred with Elizabeth Ashley in the NBC two-part series The Two Mrs. Grenvilles, and it earned Margaret another Emmy Award nomination, this time for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Miniseries. In 91, so in the 90s and 2000s. So I will skip over because we'll be here for the longest time. She has such a varied life. But she starred in the TV film Our Sons opposite Julie Andrews. Her character returned, or was in Grumpy Old Men, and then returned for Grumpier Old Men. She was in Gone with the Wind, the sequel, and I absolutely loved that. If anybody's seen that, please go and watch it. She plays Belle Watling, and I'll always remember that. I love Gone with the Wind 2. I love Gone with the Wind most, but Gone with the Wind 2 I do appreciate, I do enjoy. She also filmed Any Given Sunday. She was in several TV films, including The Queen, The Story of an American Family. She made a guest appearance on the television shows Touched by an Angel, Third Watch, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, Taxi. Gosh, there's so many other things. In 2006, Margaret was a supporting role in The Breakup with Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn. And then Santa Claus 3 with Tim Allen, which I absolutely love. Please go and watch that one. She's brilliant in there. And she appeared in the comedy Old Dogs with John Travolta and Robin Williams. So, into 2010 to the present, she guest starred in Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, Bedtime, which aired in 2010 on NBC. She also appeared in Army Wives in the episode Guns N' Roses. In 2011, she co-starred with Andy Williams for a series of concerts. In 2014, she began appearing in a recurring role in the original series Ray Donovan. And in 2008, it was announced she's joining the second season of the sci-fi series Happy in a recurring role. In 2018, she guest starred in The Kaminsky Method, portraying Diane, a widow and possible love interest for the recently widowed Norman, played by Alan Arkin. So, personal life. Margaret has no children, but she is the stepmother of 3 children from her husband Roger Smith, an actor who later became her manager. She and Smith were married from May 1967 until his death on June 4th, 2017. Before this, she dated Eddie Fisher and was romantically linked to Elvis Presley during the filming of Viva Las Vegas in '64. She was a keen motorcyclist, and Margaret rode a 500cc Triumph Tiger in the Swinger. In 2005, the miniseries Elvis includes a story of her affair with Elvis during the filming of Viva Las Vegas, and she was portrayed by actress Rose McGowan. As you can see, this is a super varied life from Margaret, and we're at 20 minutes, so I will try and edit this down as much as I can, but this will be a longer one because Margaret has had such a varied life, it's insane. Now, I'm just going to end off with saying I think she's wonderful in Viva Las Vegas. The film is amazing. It was one of the biggest box office hits. It beat so many films. There was a market for that kind of movie, that genre of movie, and there was a market for Elvis and Anne. I really feel that the Colonel let Elvis and Anne down by being so over the top. I think that if you let people shine, then everyone shines. And I think Elvis and Anne must have had a very beautiful relationship at the time. And I'm sure they respected each other ongoing for many years to come. Anne is always very, very sweet about Elvis and has never said anything negative. And I respect her for that. She's a lovely, caring lady who has her own personal memories of Elvis. And yeah, I love her. And I want to end this with saying thank you, Margaret, for being such a wonderful co-star to Elvis. We adore you, and I adore Viva Las Vegas 1,000,000%. I could listen and watch it every single day if I could. Please pop on over and have a look. I've done a review to Appreciation. Now, it's up one of these Tuesdays. Might have been up. If it has been up, please pop on over and have a look at it. If it's not up yet, look out for it. It's going to be up very, very soon. It's one of my favourites by Margaret in Viva Las Vegas. Okay, I'm off. I'll catch you on another one. And yeah, take care of yourself. And I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.